Good morning, Paul DeBettignies, also known as Minnesota Headhunter. I have never, and I swear this is true, I have never in my 20-some years of speaking worn a backwards hat while doing a presentation that's good, particularly one that's being recorded. I haven't been this casual, but look, y'all probably saw it last night, right? 80-degree weather. I might have been up a little late. There might have been some bourbon and some s'mores consumed. So I just decided to roll with this, but I swear I'm here. Everything's good. This is the 12th year, so to speak, since, well, I suppose this still counts as the 12th year, right, of me doing this presentation. The delay is so trippy. Uh-oh. As in, like, my internet's an issue yet again. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Sorry, Aaron. I started doing this, so I think if we're on year 15 of Minibar, I didn't know about it the first year. I attended the second and third year and then done this presentation for 12. The idea is, for the love of Goldie Gopher, please ask questions that you want to know about career stuff, whether it's job search, what's going on in the market. I've got a few bullet points I'm going to cover, because if we were at Best Buy and I was in the theater or I was in one of the conference rooms, I would be begging you all to ask questions. So now I'm like triple begging that you've got to interact with me for these 25 minutes or it's going to suck, okay? Anyway, so the idea was tell people what's going on in the tech community. 1 year, the camera didn't turn on. I was told to stop doing it. I didn't know many people in the room, which was a bit odd. I asked them, like, what do y'all want to know? And of course, there's always that person or that guy in the back of the room who yells, why do recruiters suck so bad? And the camera came on. So that's how this has stuck with this. So I'm thrilled that I can do this again. Some quick stuff about me. Just been recruiting for 20, I have been recruiting for 20 years. Well, it's 22 technically, but when you get to 50 years old, you just say 20 plus now because numbers aren't as cool as they used to be. I've been writing the Minnesota Headhunter blog since 2005, involved in the technology community. Want to thank Ministar, whether the board, the sponsors, those who are volunteering, putting this on. The folks who are doing the behind the scenes work, who helped me the other day when my internet dropped for a couple of minutes at the end of my session, and I should be good today. So MediaCom tells me that's a plug right there, that if it doesn't work, we'll know why. Again, want to congratulate Maria for being a Women in Business Award winner. I said it the other day, I'm such a huge fan of hers. She's been a good friend. She's given me a lot of advice. There have been a couple of times during this COVID stuff where I've said, hey, do you have time to talk? And she was there for a phone call. And so I can't say enough about her. And even going back to Aaron and Matt too, like those are two of the best people in the community. Yes, use Invisible Network. Yes, after I get done rambling, listen to Aaron's next presentation too. Okay. All right, here are my bullet points. I'm going to start at the bottom first. Aaron, if you're still listening, or taking a break in between your sessions, when they were doing a similar presentation during Twin City Startup Week, I realized I hadn't spoken with Aaron in a really long time. And so she says, hey, like, I'm free the next couple of days or anytime next week. And I never followed up with it. Like, dumbass on my part. So Aaron, I'm going to hit you up. I want to have that conversation with you. All right. I'm going to Andrea, I'm going to get to your question in a second. Yes, any of these types of questions you want to know. These are my bullet points. Other than that, the content's driven by you. So what is the local job market like right now? I'm going to do the economy part where we are first because it'll tie in. The idea is that I call myself that I have an MBA or a PhD in armchair economics from CNBC and Bloomberg. I have them on most days, most of the time. Dropped in with a little bit of ESPN college football. When the pandemic started happening, the shutdown started happening, right? You heard letters. It was going to be a V-shaped recovery. Come down fast, go back fast. I don't think that's the case. Some people call it a W. That's still sort of in favor. You come down fast, you go up a little bit, and then we crater again, and then we go back up. That might be happening depending on what's happening with the health outcomes across the nation here over the next weeks, months. There's the hockey stick, right? You're at the bottom for a while with a gradual increase. Casey Allen, tech dude here in town, my brother from another mother, he calls it the Nike swoosh. It's even flatter, the comeback. I'm missing the letter K. The stock market's going up, the job economy isn't. The one that I am prescribing to currently is the square root. So not necessarily a letter. The idea is the economy came down, it's coming back, and it's going to flatten for a really long time. Essentially, what I'm saying to you is that depending who you are, what you do, whatever the last months have been like is likely what your next months are going to be like. If you have been, if you've been doing a job search, and I don't want to say it this way, but if you've been doing a job search and you've been struggling, your job search is going to take a while. If you're in demand and you've still been getting messages from CEOs, tech co-founders, corporate or search firm recruiters, that's likely going to continue. So what I'm saying is whatever you've been experiencing is likely going to be more of the same, right? It's that flat part of the square root. I don't like saying it that way, but I think that's the case. There's a huge wait and see thing. A lot of us have been doing it personally, professionally. Certainly companies are doing too, right? It was wait and see to what happens when school starts, wait and see with the election, wait and see what happens when it gets cold outside north of the Mason-Dixon line and what happens with cases and things. Wait and see what happens with the economy. A lot of people are playing wait and see, and that's going to delay the bounce back, however you want to phrase it. So that's sort of the economy. Where the local job market is, generally speaking, I think that we have seen the worst of the layoffs. We've come down, hit the bottom, and we're kind of bouncing up. The problem is that during a recession, and this one's different than the two previous ones I've experienced. The unfortunate part, right, is companies tend to lay off 10, 25, 50 people, and they only hire 1, 2, and 5 back. And so that's why there's always this delay. I've been posting recruiter jobs on my site since 2010, I suppose, and it's always been sort of a canary in the coal mine for me. Like when I start seeing recruiter jobs being posted, right, that's a forward-looking indicator. Usually, jobs are a lagging economic indicator. Recruiter jobs are a leading, right? If you're going to hire recruiters, that means you're going to be hiring people. If you let your recruiters go, you're not going to be hiring people. We've had a decent bounce, and now it's flattened a little bit on the recruiter job thing. So I think, again, some companies, most companies, many, I'm trying to I don't like use superlatives. All, everybody, no one. This economy is different. Some startups are doing well, some are not. Some Fortune 500 companies are doing well, some are not. Usually it all kind of goes together, and this one is not. Got another quick thought I'm going to come up with in a second. So what companies for Andrew, what companies in Minnesota are receptive to hiring women and junior devs? And of course, any of these kinds of questions. Absolutely. The companies that seem to be, the junior dev hiring is hard. And Aaron and Matt spoke a little bit about it. First of all, if you're a junior dev and you're doing a job search right now, and this is the same advice I gave to the Prime folks when I did their alum scrum on Wednesday. Generally speaking, I don't want you to be I don't want you to be that potted plant that's stuck in a corner. I don't want you to wilt. I want you to get water and sun and fertilizer. And saying that, like I did on Wednesday with the Prime students or grads, I also want you to get paid. So while you're doing your search, I want you to think about, can you pick up a QA role? Can you pick up a customer support role? Can you pick up a help desk role? At the end of the day, you all are going to have to decide where you are at financially. So for me, it's a finance answer about so I want you to get that junior dev role you've been looking for. I really do. And then I need you to get paid so that when we come up the other side of this, wherever and however and whenever that is, that you're still in the industry. Companies, I've got a really strong opinion in my head. I'm trying to filter a little bit. Diversity, equity, inclusion clearly is at the forefront, in the front of most recruiter and HR people's brains. That's my mom calling, by the way. What's hilarious. The idea is that I'm frustrated because this should be on the top of everybody's mind always. We're seeing lots of diversity, equity, inclusion roles in recruiting and HR, and that's fantastic, but we should have had them 1 year ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, not just because of the murder of George Floyd. I'm frustrated with that. Generally speaking, most companies are trying to hire women, people of color, underrepresented folks. They suck at it. I think that was one of the things that Aaron and Matt, one of the bullet points was companies have to change where they recruit. So if I am you, I'm going to hop on LinkedIn. I'm going to target some companies, and I'm going to find the women in tech who are working there. And I'm going to reach out to them and see if they can help network me in. The idea is this. It's called network gravity. I don't know who to attribute this to. It's from, I heard this years ago. The idea that you can start as high up in a tree as you can and you fall down within it. But if you start at the bottom or the base of the tree, it's hard to work your way up. I'm going to find women in tech at a company. I'm going to probably reach out to a CTO or CEO depending on size. I'm going to ask the people who are participating in Hack the Gap right now. As a quick side note, if you're listening to this, you're hiring and you're not sponsoring Hack the Gap, and you're not reaching out to Mike Jackson at Black Tech Talent, like, you're doing this wrong. I've got about 3 F-bombs I'm not going to say. I am frustrated with how companies are hiring and recruiting. It is our jobs to be active. It is our jobs to be proactive. It is our jobs to build pipelines of people. I hope that comes out okay. I hate the word hate, by the way. I hate the phrase human resources. I hate the phrase talent acquisition. And I freaking hate human capital. That's why I have this probably look on my face that I get frustrated when I have these conversations. If you're recruiting, it's your job to go find people that are different than the ones you already have. I'm quick reminded of a story. I'll give this to you. A number of years ago, Instagram had they couldn't figure out why, like, a certain percentage of the photos were upside down. And I don't remember if it was 14%, 17, 19%, whatever it was. The photos were upside down. They couldn't figure it out for nearly a day. It was left-handed people. How left-handed people were taking their photo, right, or their selfie, and it was upside down. Like, that's the most simple case for diversity. Have some left-handed developers. In this case, you need to have a tech team that looks like your customers. You need to have a tech team that looks like the community that you live and work in. So do that. That's my polite tangent for the moment. The junior dev thing, here's the problem. There isn't a hidden job market. It's just that usually we don't know where to look. If I'm a junior dev right now, Matt, I think it was Matt mentioned it earlier, I'm going to submit my resume to XYZ Inc. I'm then going to find the CTO. If the company's like 200 or less, 150 or less, if it's 75 or 100 or less, I'm going to email the CEO. That goes back to that network gravity thing. Then I'm going to go to a tech recruiter. And I'm going to say something like, hey, Matt, my name is, this is really informal language. Don't actually use this. I would say something to the effect of, Matt, my name is Paul DeBettignies. I'm a junior dev or recent Prime Digital Academy or U of M bootcamp grad. I saw that you have posted a 3-year developer role in React. I'm just making this up off the top of my head. Here's my background. Here's my skill set, bullet point, bullet point, bullet point. I would love to have a conversation with you to learn more about this role and also to learn if you have an opportunity for a junior developer like me. Send. Because I'm not going to wait for that applicant tracking system. Aaron mentioned this a little bit when they were talking. An applicant tracking system, that's like the web portal, right? You're filling out, you're attaching your resume, and then you got to still fill out that stupid form too, which, why do you have to do both? I still don't know, and I'm on the inside. I'm not going to wait for an algorithm, because the way these applicant tracking systems work is a lot like Google. If you say, I want to go to Nashville, Tennessee, I want to be near Music Row, and these 4 bars, so I don't have to walk so far, and I'm looking for a hotel, right? Google gives you search results. It's exactly how applicant tracking systems work. So your resume is graded or scored, for lack of a better word, compared to the job description, right? So the buzzwords, keywords, acronyms that are in the job description need to be in your resume. Same thing goes for LinkedIn. Tip for that. You need to have both Amazon Web Services and AWS in your LinkedIn profile, because you don't know what someone like me is searching for, okay? I've got a bunch of things that are like flowing through my head. I hope that, like, at least for this moment, Andrea, that helps. Sort of what, here's the thing. We just have to reach out to people. This goes back to my networking virtually, how to do it. Let's just jump there. This is not aimed at Casey at Twin City Startup Week or Maria, Jen, and the folks at Minnebar. I am bummed out, frustrated that people are not using the hashtags for these events. This is an opportunity for you to take a photo of a selfie with Aaron's next presentation, click, posting it on LinkedIn, posting it on Twitter. I'm listening to Aaron O'Neill's presentation. Like, we need to be active online, and we need to be talking about our tech community, and we need to be supporting those speakers. Okay. I'm surprised. I've been in 2 JavaScript MN meetups, and even here, I can't see the whole chat, right? Because I only get the questions. Like, there's just a lack of like people saying anything. By the way, and if you're hiring, there's a complete desert of companies not saying that they're hiring with hashtag Minnebar. I sound really ornery today. I swear I'm not. I'm in a great mood. It's a beautiful day. But I'm frustrated that we have companies hiring who aren't saying they are, and we have job seekers who are looking for jobs, like proactively, aggressively, not saying they are. Like, we just have to say, hello, my name is. I don't know if I'm getting that. I'm frustrated. I'm at the top of pretty much all the job ladders in town without jumping into management. What kind of places are looking to hire very senior engineers? Again, a lot of companies are, and they're not posting the roles. If I'm, Levi, if I'm you, I'm reaching out to the CTOs of startups. I'm reaching out, like, I would probably send, if you're a really senior person, I might reach out to Jamie, the CTO, Jamie Thinglestead, the CTO at SPS Commerce. Like, the worst thing he's going to do is drop you down to the tech recruiter, Dave, or the I don't remember what is it, director of recruiting, Jody Hill. I think that's her title. Like, that's the worst thing that's going to happen. You're going to drop down. The other thing is that CTOs and CEOs know what the hiring is, what the hypothetical hiring plan is for the end of the year and Q1 already of 2021. Most of the recruiter and HR folks don't yet know. So if I'm a tech person, it's no different for me in my role, right? I am doing business development stuff. I'm theoretically looking for jobs, right? Consulting gigs. I'm not reaching out to the tech recruiters. I'm reaching out to the VP of people operations, the VP of HR, the CEOs of the smaller startups, the VP of engineering at bigger companies. I'm just proactively, aggressively doing it. By the way, I'm an introvert by nature. I'm passive. I am, how did I phrase this once or for a number of years? I have the Minnesota nice, passive aggressive Scandinavian Lutheran upbringing that says it's not nice to promote myself syndrome. I'm that. I don't like doing this stuff, or I'm broke, right? Like, it's kind of like dating or my dating life. If I'm not asking people out, I'm going to be single. You got to be proactive. You have to reach out to people. I now there's like 5 thoughts in that head. I do this at Minnebar all the time. I have this awkward pause. We have to manage our career. We learned this during the Great Recession. Companies will take care of make sure that shareholders, make sure that those people are being taken care of, that the company is profitable and doing well. I have a true fear, that I think a lot of companies have carried, like what we'll call traditional white-collared roles. I'll throw tech in there this year, hoping the business was going to pick up. In some cases, it hasn't. I think we're going to see some layoffs yet before the end of the year. And that's scary, because I don't think a lot of people are prepared. I don't care how solid you are in your job right now. You should have your resume ready, and you should have a LinkedIn profile that's optimized and going, so that you don't get caught with 10% got let go and you're one of them in one of the coming Fridays. Okay, now I'm rambling. Sorry. Comment from Matt. +1, the supply and demand mismatch for junior devs has made the search for junior devs really hard historically. And COVID, yeah, it's already hard to find a dev job, a junior dev job, and now this is even harder. It's not impossible. And by the way, you've gone to a boot camp, you've got the training, you know what you're doing at that level. Does doing a job search suck? Yeah, so what? Me doing my biz dev right now sucks, right? You have roughly 22 to 28% of corporate recruiters are unemployed right now or furloughed. And I'm trying to find gigs. Now I am, but it's hard, and I'm doing gigs in a way that I wouldn't normally do it. That's just the deal. This is my job. This is my role. Your job is to find a job. And yes, it's frustrating at times, and it can be an emotional experience. That's sort of the quick rant on that. So not being young, again, I'm going to reach out then to the folks who look older on LinkedIn. I'm going to try to find people who are who went to school where I did, if I did, right, whether it's a coding boot camp, whether it's the University of Minnesota, I'm going to find those people who I have things in common with. Why I don't like these applicant tracking systems is because they've made it so that there's more barriers between recruiters, corporate recruiters, and their candidates. And so again, this is the part about making connections. Matt was talking about earlier, like if we were at Minibar right now and I would be doing this session, there'd probably be 30 people out in the hallway right now having a conversation about whatever, people they haven't seen. Hell, I'd be doing it too. So now, like I would reach out to Matt, I would reach out to Aaron and realize that a bunch of people are probably going to do that. So give them a couple days. But like anyone who's doing a presentation during Minibar, if I'm looking for a job, I'm going to reach out to them. I'm going to say things like, hey, Matt, if you were me, like don't ask for help, ask for advice and opinions because we've all got it, particularly in the political climate they're in right now. We've all got thoughts and opinions and advice to give. So say to Matt, Matt, I would say something like, hey, Matt, I'm doing a junior dev role. I know that you've got the group. I know that you went through this yourself. Like, what are the two things you would do if you were me? Bullet point, bullet point, bullet point. So he has some context to it. Reach out to people. I'm a self-taught developer looking for my first role. I'm also new to a job search like this previously. Yeah, Gus, you got to push through it. Yeah, like this is. I joke that I think that anybody finds a job or that anybody hires someone. To me, it feels like a minor miracle, right? That you found the right company or the right employee, right, with the right salary, with the right location, with the right skill set at the right time, because timing is always a thing. This is just, it sucks. I wish I had better advice. Observation from Andrew, when I was laid off in July, a lot of recruiters in my LinkedIn feed were open to work. Yes, it really is. This is not. So when you are applying to roles, also understand that some of these companies, going back to the why do recruiters suck so bad? If you went from 4 recruiters to 2 or 4 to 1, that one person's overwhelmed now. So not only are they trying to recruit more roles than they should be, generally speaking, and then we're all reaching out to them, trying to do a proactive, aggressive job search, right? They're overwhelmed. So this is the time where I'm going to give my recruiter and HR friends a break and say that maybe they don't suck. It's just where we're at with things. Andrew is back to work now. Cool. Quick thing, coming out of a recession. Usually companies hire contractors and consultants first before they hire full-time employees. They want to do that because they think business is good. They think they're doing okay. They don't want to commit to a full-time employee and benefits, or if it's unemployment one day, they'll hire contractors and consultants for the short run in like 30 days, 60 days, 3 months, 6 months sort of gigs. But I'm doing a job search right now. I'm going to say something to the effect of, while looking for a full-time role, I am open to contract project consulting opportunities. You may, like I have, like normally I have 2 or 3 clients at a time. I will be, before we get to November, having 5 or 6, depending. My gigs, the size are smaller. The revenue size is smaller. I still need a certain revenue number. I can deliver on all those because some of them, instead of being 30 hours a week, are 10, 12, 15 hours a week. Okay. So be open to consulting, contract, project opportunities. I'm rambling. I'm looking at the time. Just to let Maria and Jenna know. Other questions, thoughts, comments? I feel like I'm missing a bunch of stuff. I'm used to being in a room where I could see people nodding or nodding off. Just kidding. Some other quick things. Oh, how to play defense. This goes back to the resume, LinkedIn conversation. You know what you should do this weekend? Do your annual review now. Here's what I would do right now this weekend if I were you. What did I do over the last year, 6 months, 9 months, whatever it is? I'm going to write it down. I'm going to make sure that my resume is updated. I'm going to update my LinkedIn profile. I'm probably going to turn off the profile so people aren't receiving a bunch of updates like, I've updated this, I've updated this, I've updated this, because you don't want your boss to think you're like looking for a new job. Something else is just jumping into my head with a bunch of questions. I haven't scheduled it, but I will sometime before 1 o'clock today. Go to my site, mnheadhunter.com. tomorrow evening, either at 6 or 7 o'clock, I'll do a crowdcast on my account and answer job search questions. I do this frequently. I haven't done it in a couple of weeks. It's free. So go to my blog later this afternoon, tonight, tomorrow morning, whatever. I'll do a session tomorrow night at 6 or 7 o'clock for an hour or so, or however long people want to hang out for. Because maybe that would help. We'll have a little bit more time. How am I doing? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Anybody, did I miss something?
Paul, I think you're good. We're about at the end of the presentation, so thank you so much.